All right, welcome to Dual Redundancy, the only podcast where you can hear all latest in television and entertainment news with too many hosts with exactly the same opinions. I'm one of those hosts, David Allen, and another one is
John Berwick, and a third one is
Kyle Bridger. I will say that I am the Dean Erickson to John's Roman Lunyov, and Dave can be Marla Grayson. Wah wah.
that's the cast from I Care a Lot, the Netflix film, the Golden Globe winning Netflix film as of this past weekend. We're gonna break it down. I got a lot to say. It was a roller coaster for me, that film, with my allegiance of where I'm ending up feeling about it. Can't say the same for the Golden Globes, because I think it's pretty safe to say it was a bit of a train wreck. This past weekend. We're going to talk about both of those things, plus a whole lot more tonight. We got a big kind of, not really announcement because we announced it yesterday, but a lot of updates with the March Madness bracket as well. Details for that. So much to do tonight. We have to jump into the show. John, just what is this first segment?
In and Out points. There was like four things going on in my head at the same time, and I clicked the button. I started streaming, but I didn't hit record, so I wanted to hit record, but then I hit the button for the audio, and it was like, oh,
I was gonna
shoot.
say, how is it that you're off? Because Kyle, I mean, he's not able to do the, I'm back, baby. He has to just guess when it is. You were literally pressing the button to end after you say it. How did that happen?
I'm thinking about all that. I'm thinking about how my camera's too low because I'm using a different camera setup. So like half of it's my name's cutting over from my face, and I just pushed the button. It was too early.
It's funny you kind of mentioned this here because our first In and Out point involves this kind of big press event for the Paramount Plus streaming app. And for a streaming app, their kind of press event was delayed because of technical difficulties. So it's only fitting that we had our own for In and Out points tonight. Last week, Viacom CBS held a big press day for Paramount Plus. That's the rebrand of the CBS All Access app. And it's going to occur on Thursday, March 4th. So this Thursday, you're going to have a new streaming service, at least with a new name. This service will have, quote, a mountain of entertainment, more than 30,000 episodes, 2,500 movie titles, and 1,000 plus live sporting events, news coverage from the Viacom CBS library. That includes CBS, BET, Comedy Central, MTV, Nickelodeon, and all the Star Trek you could possibly want is on this service. We're going to break it down. There's a lot to unpack with this. It was a huge hours of long event. Let me ask you up front here. You guys going to be climbing the mountain of Paramount Plus, John?
I don't think so. I think I have enough that I'm behind on without adding a whole mountain of other shows to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be an avalanche of shows coming up. Kyle?
Yeah, no, it's going to be a no for me. There's too many streaming services. They got in the game too late. I mean, that's going to be the problem for any streaming service now. You're battling uphill. And I mean, Quibi was a disaster, but yes, it's like any streaming service now. It's just going to be, you're battling the name brand, which is Netflix, which honestly doesn't have much anymore these days, but it's still the Kleenex of the streaming service world. And I think at this point, unless they start bundling these streaming services together in like a Hulu type fashion, I just don't know if I'm going to be doing anything new. It's just too expensive. It's too expensive now.
You need to come in big now. It needs to be huge to kind of break through, just the mess of all the streaming services we have. Years ago, when they launched CBS All Access, everyone was like, what are you doing? Put it with Showtime, which you own. Now you have all the Viacom channels. Put those in here. Make it a conglomerate giant thing. Sure, monopolies are bad, but when we're dealing with the streaming wars, you need big to stand out. That's what HBO Max did. It's like, let's take all of our cable channels, all of, this studio that we own, make it one big thing. So you just have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
Instead, it's like, well, we got CBS. You love CBS, right? It's like, no, stop giving these smaller little ones. Give us one giant one that has everything there. And this kind of revamp, this redo, has a lot of new stuff coming. But news in quotation, because there's a lot of reboots, a lot of revivals. Some of these feel a bit dated, especially if they're trying to go for a younger audience. I'm going to run through a list. It's a huge list. John's scrolling through it. But here's some of the properties. They're all based on IP. Criminal Minds, they're bringing that back. Flashdance, a show based on that. Frasier is coming back. Love Story, that classic film, won Best Picture back in the 70s. The Italian Job, The Parallax View, they're all getting these shows now based on these movies. Who's clamoring for any of this? Who needs this? Is that going to make you sign up? I don't know.
No. And also then you've sold, it could just be my millennial mind and where I'm coming from and what I long for. But then they sold off a bunch of their Comedy Central stuff. So this is just dumb to me.
Yeah. We'll definitely get to that. It's just, I don't know, like what kind of group, even the people that watched Love Story in theaters back in the day, who wants that show? Like, I feel like, is there enough there? Flashdance, like outside of the famous, scene, that clip, that GIF, like, what is that thing even like about? Like, does anyone care?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you got like Frasier, which it's like, why are you doing Frasier without one of the leads? I mean, like, I feel like the whole show is like Frasier versus, his views versus his dad living together in the apartment. His dad's not going to be in this. So what? Okay, it's just Frasier. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is there enough there? What's the conflict? I mean, it's still early, but I just don't see it. Yeah, but it doesn't end there. More IP. The Halo series is moving from Showtime to Paramount Plus.
Okay.
They have The Offer, which is like a making of The Godfather. And they have a lot of stuff for kids. They have a live action version of Dora the Explorer, Fairly Odd Parents. We're going to get the return of iCarly. There's going to be a SpongeBob spinoff. And then there's going to be a new CG animated Rugrats series. John, you sent me the images from this. How can you describe this animation and what's going on?
It's almost like kind of Uncanny Valley-ish. I don't like it. I mean, like, I think we were all in the same age group that it was a little old, but we grew up with Rugrats, and they did their reboot for All Grown Up or Grown Up or whatever verbiage they had on there, and that kind of didn't work out, and now they're trying to reboot the original. I don't know. It doesn't. I don't know. I wouldn't have signed off on this if it were my choice.
Yeah, it just looks creepy. It just looks odd. God knows how odd it's going to look with the live action Dora the Explorer and Fairly Odd Parents, and that just seems weird. And we're relying so much on pre-existing stuff here. And then, as you mentioned, Kyle, some of the stuff that they are doing, it's based on properties that they don't even have the library for anymore because they sold off those assets. They have Y 1883 and 6666, and those are two Yellowstone spinoffs. They sold the rights to Yellowstone to Peacock. Then you have Inside Amy Schumer. It's coming back for some specials. They got the Reno 911 movie as well. Well, those are alongside HBO Max, Key and Peele, Nathan For You, South Park. All those properties are there. So why were you selling all your properties when you have a streaming service launching, in a couple weeks? What are you doing?
Yeah. To me, it makes sense to keep your content so that you have more to offer people. I mean, that's what people are coming there for. That's why people are subscribing to the streaming service. The only other thing I can think of is that they wanted to make money And so what? We lease our stuff for 3-4 years, get that money, then we're able to make stuff and make new stuff, and then hopefully that's enough to keep people in, and then recruit the old stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They can bring
But
it back and make a price hike.
Yeah, clearly they have, I don't know, some kind of branding thing that they're going down, but I don't know how some of these shows aren't in their branding. I mean, South Park is like the formation of Comedy Central.
Yeah.
Like it rose as Comedy Central rose. It's just, I don't know how you don't keep that property.
Yeah, that's a cornerstone. That's a huge library. That's, Disney Plus launched with The Simpsons, all hundreds and hundreds of episodes of The Simpsons. You launch with South Park, and you bring up the branding. It's like, okay, they had to do those Super Bowl ads with Paramount Plus, and oh, look, we have Jeff Probst here. Oh, we have the Star Trek guy here. They're trying to remind people, see, we have this, we have that. I think people are going to think, oh, you have Comedy Central. Great. I love South Park. Let me, where is it? Where's Key and Peele? Where's my Comedy Central shows? They're not on the Comedy Central app on the Paramount Plus network. What? Like, you're going to confuse people, and you're going to just dilute everything. I think it's just a bad choice. And it's funny because, like, it goes for movies, Paramount Plus movies. I don't know what a Paramount movie is. Like, the only thing I know is Indiana Jones, solely for the fact that every Indiana Jones movie starts off with the Paramount logo, and then it transforms into whatever mountain Indiana Jones is at. That's the only reason I know that. And so I had to look up what movies were going to be on the service, because I just don't think it's that synonymous. I just don't think people can name off the top of their heads Paramount movie. Can I ask any of you guys to name Paramount movie off the top of your head?
Off the top of my head, no. No. I was thinking James Bond, but that's MGM.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So looking at the list, I looked some up here. It's going to have a bunch of films, as I mentioned. The Godfather, Titanic, Forrest Gump, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible. So those films and a bunch more are going to be on there.
Some pretty good films.
Yeah. So you got a good list there. One of the other news from this was how these future films for Paramount are going to be released. We've talked about with HBO Max, it's the same day in theaters and on the app. The theatrical window is getting shorter, and they kind of burst the window again here. Instead of that old 90-day theatrical window, films like Mission Impossible 7, A Quiet Place 2, they're going to hit theaters 45 days, or they're going to hit the streaming app 45 days after being in theaters. So it's shortening that time. Is that good news, Kyle?
The quicker that you can get the movies onto your streaming service, I think the better it's going to be, especially during the time that we're in now. But I just wonder if we ever get back to the theaters, how is that going to impact people? Will they be more likely to just want to wait 45 days? I mean, 45 days, what's that, a month and a half? I could forget about a movie for a month, honestly, and then be like, oh, wait, it's coming out in 15 days? All right, fine, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean, prices are going up, and we've talked about it. It's still not really safe yet, and tickets are definitely going to go up. You get to recoup all the money they've lost in the last year and a half. So, and I think people are getting so used to the idea of it having a movie just on their, streaming service on Friday, Saturday night. They're just be able to click, oh, I'll watch this one. Why not? And yeah. I think people are getting used to that, and I think it's going to be hard to get people to come back to the old experience. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of people that miss it, and I miss it as well, but I just think it's pretty nice having it in your home whenever you want it.
It is convenient. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about pricing. We got two pricing tiers. It's $4.99 a month for the ad version, and then it's $9.99 without the ads. Wow. What's interesting about this, I saw that the $5 tier that actually launches in June. So right now you can only get, if you want your Paramount Plus on Thursday, you got to do the $10 without ads version first,
so that they can get you. They can get you on board. They can get you snagged in early.
They can hook you without the ads, and then it's like, oh, you want to get to the other one? You know, there's going to be ads, right? And there's also some other differences. The ad-supported tier, you'll still get NFL football live, some news on demand, and the shows in the library. But the Plus will have all that content ad-free, plus even more live sports, live local and national news. Plus, you get the live CBS channel as well. So anyone who cut the cord, all those live events, whether it's like the Super Bowl or the Emmys or whatever it is, you have the live CBS channel, so you can watch it live and not have to wait till the next day when it's uploaded on the app or whatever it is.
Okay.
So, but either of those, I mean, we've mentioned all these different programs that are coming, all the stuff that they're going to do to entice you. Did that change your opinions from 10 minutes ago? Are you guys into Paramount Plus now, John?
$5 isn't bad, especially considering some other things are 12 to 15 and all that. But I really hate the model of pay to see ads. I'm kind of tired of it, and I know Hulu does that as well. But if you're on a budget and maybe you have more time than money, and you're looking to you're okay with sitting through an ad every couple of minutes, and maybe that is good for you. $5, like I said, it's not bad, but I don't know if it's enough for me to be like, oh yeah, I'll do that,
Especially when the ads are the exact same ads every single break, and they're, as Kyle knows, I hate blasting my eardrums. The volume on these ads, they're so different from the actual program. Kyle, are you gonna join Paramount Mountain here?
No, probably not. I mean, same with John. I hate that model. Not only are you getting my money, you're getting the commercial, the advertising money. So now you're getting double them. You're double dipping, and it's annoying. I mean, I know that's how ads pay for stuff, but you would think with a subscription service, I am paying for that service, so I shouldn't have to have any ads in it. $10 is on the lower end of the streaming services, but I just can't see myself shelling out $10 having Netflix or whatever it is now. It's 17, whatever it is. You got HBO Max, which is like you split it 3 ways, 15. It's like all of that starts to add up. You have YouTube TV or something. I mean, we've got cable again.
Yeah. I'll admit I'm gonna have Paramount Plus on Thursday only because I have CBS All Access right now because I'm watching a 40-season Survivor rewatch. So that's what I have right now. Maybe when that rewatch is over, click, it's off. But for now, I need Survivor. That's what I'm gonna have Paramount Plus.
So let me get this straight: is CBS All Access still live?
I mean, it's live. You can access it on Thursday. It'll be like that HBO Now becomes HBO Max. It'll just switch over. At least I think.
Okay. I'm curious to see how many people, if you just asked on the street if they knew what Paramount Plus was, what they would say. Because I guarantee you, I mean, with all the marketing they did, I mean, I know they did a bunch of Super Bowl ads, but even with the Super Bowl ads, I'm like, what? This is all over the place. Like, I don't know. I think the streaming service market is flooded, and that's not even to mention, these are just all the paid ones. You think about the ones that you don't really have to pay for, or very, very minimal or niche streaming services. How are you going to get these people over there? It's just the market is absolutely flooded.
Way too much going on. Yeah. And Mustix brings up in the chat, Super Bowl viewership was way down this year too. It's like, so less people saw those ads. Another thing that was way down was the Golden Globes. And to talk about them, we have a new sound clip that fits perfectly with the theme of the Golden Globes.
It's all a fugazi. You know what a fugazi is?
No, fugazi. It's fake.
Yeah, fugazi. It's a wazi. It's a woozy. It's a fairy dust. It doesn't exist. It's never landed. It is no matter. It's not on the elemental chart. It's not real.
Right. All right.
Yeah, perfect summation of the 78th Golden Globe Awards. They took place February 28th on NBC. We're going to break down the winners and the ceremony and everything going on with that. We're going to start off with the winners. Back in episode 328, we discussed nominations, and going into the night on the film side, Mank led with 6 nominations, followed by The Trial of the Chicago 7 with 5. Instead, 3 films won multiple awards. Borat subsequent movie film, Soul, and last week's review, Nomadland, they all won 2 awards each. Borat and Nomadland won Best Musical Comedy and Drama Film, respectively. Any initial thoughts here, Kyle, on these winners and some of the film winners?
Well, I really like Nomadland. I think from what I've seen so far, it's probably deserves Best Picture. Although I did like Trial of the Chicago 7. I'm happy with the Borat win. It could have gone for Palm Springs for me as well.
Those were the 2, because it's the other 3.
Yeah.
Love Hamilton, not a film.
Yeah.
Music, Prom, get the hell out of here. So it's between those 2.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'm fine with Borat winning. And I mean, just him going through that and, it kind of celebrates Maria Bakalova or Balak, whatever her name is, right? So celebrates her because I think she did a really, really good job. And so, I think I think those are deserved probably winners in their categories. I think you can make the case for that.
Yeah, definitely. And for some of the acting awards, I feel like the guys seemed likely going into the night. Those were the ones that many people suspected. Sacha Baron Cohen was going to win for Borat. He won for the original. He had the 3 noms, which was like tying for like the record for a performer in a year. It was going to be him. Chadwick Boseman, a lot of support for him in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. A great performance, great story there. Actress, on the other hand, I think there was a lot of surprises. A lot of people, a lot of pundits were surprised with some of these. I think one of the biggest surprises was Andrea Day for Best Actress in a Drama. I think many people thought it was Frances McDormand, with maybe a surprise Carey Mulligan, Promising Young Woman, like, Dark Horse in there. So I think everyone was surprised with that. And I think the other surprise, Rosamund Pike, which we'll talk about in a little bit for I Care a Lot, that was the only nom for that film. It beat out Maria Bakalova. Maria has won multiple other awards this season. She's nominated at the SAG Awards. And even Rosamund Pike even shouts out Maria in her speech. So I think a lot of people expected that. Were you surprised with those 2 wins, Kyle?
Yeah. After, I'm surprised by Rosamund Pike, right? Because, and we'll have to get into this, I guess, when we talk about the movie I Care a Lot. But would you put I Care a Lot in the comedy or musical category? I mean, it's
a dark comedy. I didn't really laugh, but it's...
but like, I don't know. I thought Rosamund Pike was good, but I think just what Maria Bakalova does, considering the circumstances, and able to pull it off well, relatively newcomer to that kind of thing. So, yeah, I think that's pretty impressive. So I probably would have given it to Maria Bakalova, but Rosamund Pike's good, and she plays that crazy kind of character pretty well. Like I think she did that in Gone Girl too, right? So
yeah, I have a lot of comparisons with Gone Girl when we talk about I Care a Lot later. Speaking of Gone Girl and Fincher here, his old buddy Aaron Sorkin won for screenplay. But man, I swear, I was talking with a few people that night, I have a feeling he thought he won for directing. He's mentioning when in his speech here, he's mentioning 3 women here. Those 3 women are his co-nominees in the directing category. The categories are very similar, directing and screenplay. There's only like 1 or 2 switch outs here, but Regina King, he shouts out here, she's not in the screenplay category. And then he starts talking about other departments. And with directing, that makes sense. Okay, I got to thank the lighting guys, the cinematography. They're involved in the process. When it's a screenplay, they're not involved with the process. And I think it was Quentin Tarantino that at one of these award shows, maybe it was the Globes when he won for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think he was like, I gotta, thank myself. Really, I mean, it was just me who wrote this. I mean, it's just like it's me, so I'm thanking myself. That's it. And I think that's what it is here. But the other one, speaking of David Fincher, it was a very good night for David Fincher alums. Sorkin, obviously, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross winning for the score there. Rosamund Pike winning. Bad night for him though. Mank, the leader going into the night, 0 for 6. 0 for 6 from Mank. The other front runner, Chicago 7, went 1 of 5. So what do you think about that, Kyle? I know we had it, I think last year, I feel like Irishman was leading a lot of these different categories, SAG, Golden Globes, Oscars, all, and then it kept getting shut out. These films keep doing that where it's like, it's this big period film, prestige, lots of nominations, and then goose egg.
Yeah, I think it's peaking too early. I think with Mank, you had a lot of hype early on, and people were really, really into it. And then even after you watch it, because I haven't watched it yet, but even after you watched it, you were like, it was okay. And then you can't have it was okay, and have that last through April. You know what I mean?
Especially this year, because it's so extended.
Yeah. So I don't know how, it just doesn't seem like the push is there. It doesn't really feel like the vibe is there for it. And, and so a lot of, I think award shows might say this movie is worthy of a nomination, but I don't know if it's going to be worthy of wins.
Yeah, because it has all those different elements, the production design, the score, and the music. It's just, and this year is so weird with the timeline. Obviously, it's the end of April for the Oscars. Normally, the Oscars would have been this past weekend instead of the Globes. That's when they would have been. And normally, the voting is during the Globes time. Voting hasn't even started for the first round of the Oscars yet. So it's going to be really hard to predict, I think, the Oscars this year, because a lot of the normal kind of feelings and timelines is just out the window this year. That'll be fun when we do that with good, bad, and watchable. Let's move to TV. As for TV, The Crown led nominations with 6, followed by Schitt's Creek with 5. That pretty much stayed true for the night. The Crown won 4, including Best Drama Series, followed by Schitt's Creek and the Queen's Gambit with 2. Both of those won their respective series category. Any thoughts here, Kyle, on those 3 shows winning their categories?
I mean, I don't think we're surprised by Schitt's Creek winning it all. It won a ton at the Emmys, so not surprised by that at all. And looking at whatever's in the list, I mean, maybe you could have put Ted Lasso up there. It was getting a lot of buzz, and it's a BBC show, or BBC made show. So The Crown, interesting to see. I mean, I know that it's English. They love English, shows, stuff like that. We would have talked about probably some other shows could have been nominated that would have been more worthy. But looking at what we have in this category, I think it's probably right to win. I haven't seen The Mandalorian, so I can't say for sure. But The Crown always does a good job with production, and the acting and the performances are always there. And it's a good ensemble cast, and I think it's really, really well done. I don't think it was their strongest season. There were moments that were very strong, but overall, very well done. Just not, I don't think, their best year.
Yeah, and I feel like the Globes either does one or two things. Either one, they go all in on new. They love crowning someone new. Saying, "Oh, we picked them first," or they like to. They have their favorites and, their stars and stuff like that. And they just kind of go with the popular opinion. I almost could have felt that they could have went with something like The Flight Attendant for musical or comedy, just because Kaylee Cuoco is also nominated. She was getting some buzz. I think any other year without Schitt's Creek, I think she would have been the winner in that category. So yeah, The Crown did quite well in all the acting categories. Pretty much, if there was somebody in there, they pretty much won. The one of the other acting categories that didn't have anyone because it was the comedy musical category was Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical, and that went to Jason Sudeikis. He won for Ted Lasso. A lot to unpack here with him. You brought up some stuff before we started recording, Kyle, which makes a lot of sense. But man, initially, first impression is he just did not care. He's there in his tie-dye hoodie, rambling speech. Even at one point, Don Cheadle was like, "Hey, let's wrap it up."
Yeah.
Giving him the sign there.
Yeah.
And, not to bring too much of his personal life in here, but major like divorced dad energy going on right now. But you also had some other reasons why you think he might have been kind of off his game on Golden Globe night.
Well, watching it, I heard somebody in the background saying F, like saying the F word repeatedly. And I was like, what is going on back there? It sounded like he was in the middle of a fight and he was so subdued that I was like, is he having like an argument where he's like trying to act like he's not arguing? But then I listened back and it was actually like a congratulatory, like F, yeah, like, yes. But then you notice he turns when he first said it and he said, you shouldn't swear. And I don't know who he was talking to. I don't know who he's talking to. But then the second part, I'm like looking at his eyes. I'm like, this guy looks high as hell. And then the last thing I was thinking about is he's in England. He won the award at like 10 o'clock. It's like 3 o'clock. So he's either super baked and tired or just super tired.
Yeah.
It's just, oh my God. And he honestly probably didn't think he was going to win. With Schitt's Creek being in your category, you probably maybe think, it's going to be Eugene Levy. I don't really need to worry about it,
Just not ready for it.
Last thing I will say about this is he's been getting some slander on like Twitter about the way he dressed. And it's just like, dude, can we give it a rest? Yeah. It's like 3 o'clock in England
on a webcam. For the Golden Globes.
He's gonna sit in a tux in his apartment. This is the dumbest thing.
And I'm pretty sure that hoodie he was wearing, I don't know if it's his sister or his sister-in-law or I guess whatever, like somebody in his family. I think it was like for her dance studio. So it was just like supporting the dance studio. And I think that hoodie sold out, so they're probably doing well at the dance studio. So it all worked out well. Jeff Daniels also got some flack or praise or whatever it was for his flannel outfit in his guest room. Again, like it's just like he opened up his computer after dinner. He's like, all right, what's this? Okay, done. Okay, thank you. Just like closes it.
I saw a tweet that was like, Jeff Daniels looked like he dressed up like he told his wife, hey, I got some work thing. And then he just like took it in the other room. Man.
So this ceremony, of course, was another at-home ceremony. And we'll talk about that now here. I asked people on Instagram what they thought of the ceremony, and B. Snyder 1212 said, snooze fest. That was his response to that. And all I have to say is, yikes. This was a production here. I could say that. It was a production. It was hosted by Tina Fey and Amy Poehler on 2 different coasts. And I will say on the positive side, I thought the timing was pretty darn good between them two. Their monologue back and forth, I thought it could have been in the same room. There wasn't a delay between the two of them. There was a delay with all the reaction shots. They were very late, I thought, with all the jokes, because they will say a joke about James Corden, and then they'll be on the next joke, and then they show a cut of James Corden, who's on a delay, listening to the joke, and then reacting to the joke. At the back and forth there wasn't right. And then my other nitpick was I wish they kind of picked an easier background to split. there was points when it was like a lot of diagonal lines behind them. So of course, like in the split screen, they weren't going to match, but it's like, why don't you just make it whatever, like a all gold background or something that could easily be at home. If you cut it, they wouldn't even know.
Yeah.
Even better,
Like,
green screen them,
yeah.
and then you can make the background whatever you want.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, there you go. What did you think, Kyle, initially of the Tina Fey, Amy Poehler kind of hosting?
When it was happening, I was like, this is actually flowing pretty well. I thought the monologue was really well done. And I thought it worked well. It was one of the few things that I think worked for the show as a whole. And, Tina Fey and Amy Poehler are well liked among a lot of people, and they seem to do that hosting gig very, very well. They're like professionals at this point. So they do a pretty good job in a thankless situation and a tough situation, and they pulled it off. Like I said, I think it was about the only thing that worked. Yeah,
and the rest of the show, I just wondered, did they not have the budget that the Emmys did? I mean, the Emmys sent cameras to nominees, so everyone had a pretty good setup. It was crystal clear for the most part. Here, man, we got grainy Zoom images, some of the worst audio, and then even like in some categories, the animated category, the winner held up an iPad to play a pre-recorded message from one of the other nominees. And it's like, the Creative Arts Emmys, they asked for these pre-recorded things ahead of time. Why don't you just ask for that ahead of time?
Yeah.
Have them send it to you and then just play it from the studio, full screen, instead of watching it off a reflective iPad. Like,
yeah,
yikes. But
it is a weird, here's the thing about this entire award show. It shows how silly and stupid it all is, because all the glitz and glamour is taken away. And instead of the whatever Golden Globes, oh my gosh, you have Anya Taylor-Joy just chilling in her room in a dress. It's like, what is happening right now? It seems so not needed and just so ridiculous. Yeah. That glitz glamour gone.
Every commercial break when they had the 5 celebs on the screen, and like it was supposed to be like them like supposed to like mingle or whatever, but it was like this awkward silence of like, wait,
so
do I talk now? Wait, no, you talk. And it's like people talking over each other, and you could never tell what they were saying, and they kept doing it. You would thought after the first one, it didn't work. Maybe, hey guys, this next break, this is what we're gonna do. I'll say a question, and you guys maybe respond to it or something.
Yeah.
No, they kept it going.
Smile and wave. That's all.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, John, right? That's what I was thinking. Smile and wave. And we stay on this shot 5 seconds and we're out.
Yeah, exactly.
This felt like 10, 15 seconds. We're going this way. We're going back. It's like, how long do I want to see people sitting on Zoom, looking at other people sitting on Zoom while I look at them sitting on Zoom? This is insane. This is stupid.
Yeah, it just does not work. It just did not work. And it's just so funny because like the Emmys did it so well. And now it's like, okay, Oscars, you're up next. Maybe take notes from the Emmys and forget this one ever even happened. But
I just want to say one last thing with those pictures on the board. It's like that could have worked. But it was too long.
Yeah.
I literally heard somebody say, just act natural.
Yeah.
And it's like, how can you act natural? It's the weirdest thing. Viola Davis looked like she was having none of it.
Yeah.
She was.
Catherine O'Hara was on her phone. She was texting. Like,
should have pre-recorded it.
Yeah, that could have been something too.
I mean, get them a week early in whatever they're going to wear, and just ask them questions and have them
even
sit there
the
and
segment
look nice.
Before, and just be like, like, oh hey, how you doing? Oh, hi, and just like have them meet and greet. Like, this does not work. It just did not work.
And it was just hilarious to see maybe people that don't even know each other having to act like And so I don't know, with the first batch, it was like all the female nominees, but it was just like, oh, you look so good.
Yeah.
5 seconds later, you look so good. Everyone looks so good. It's just like, oh my God, shoot me in the face.
Well, the other bit of kind of Globes news was, we spoke about it last week. There was a controversy surrounding this LA Times article, which spoke of decades of bribery and kind of shady dealings. But there was another fact in that article, was how there was no Black Hollywood Foreign Press Association members. And this only grew louder over the weekend. It found out that it's been decades of no Black representation in this voting body. And here we have the hosts, the presenters, the award winners, everyone calling them out. Everyone calling them out for this, and how the nominees are, as the host said, flashy garbage. They talked about the absurdity of Emily in Paris being nominated. The stuff is, music, that's a controversial pick, Globes. We can't even get into that. And I agree with all that, because, man, those are flashy garbage. But I kind of do feel bad for Emily in Paris, who's sitting there listening. She's excited that she's nominated. And now it's just like, oh, look, the hosts are making fun of me. The presenters are making fun of me. This isn't like a fun roast, because at least at the end, there's usually like, oh, they suck. But we all have a good time with them. Like you always have to end the roast with something positive. This was just like, nope, sucks. It's just like,
yeah.
But yeah, it's not a good look also for the Globes when they're talking about race. And then the very first winner immediately after the monologue is Daniel Kaluuya, and you don't even have his microphone on.
Yeah. And
he's trying to give his speech and he's muted. And then at first we cut away from him, and I'm like, are you really not going to show his award speech? Like, you get that fixed. And thankfully they gave him another shot, but it's just like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
101, right, John? Have him unmuted.
Oh yeah.
But and then they also have, they're proud to announce that they have 3 female directing noms for the first time this year. It's like, that is great, but also super sad. like ever, this is not like a fun thing. It's like, oh, guess what? We finally have a woman nominated. It's like, okay, it's the 78th Golden Globe Awards. And she was the second woman ever to win, the second Asian ever to win. So they got a lot to kind of fix.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we have the Oscars coming up, and we don't know who's going to be nominated and all this stuff. But the more that these shows go on, and they say, it's kind of like the corporate. In fact, that's what it's like, the corporate, wokeism of, oh, we know there needs to be more representation. We're striving for it. And if that message is the same year after year after year, what are you doing? Yeah. Clearly, whatever you're doing to help out,
it's not working.
Get more representation is not working, or it's just all lip service to sound good.
Yeah, and that's what groups like Time's Up, they were calling them out before the weekend and after. They're like, no, we still want more accountability. You guys can't just brush it off like you did. You got to do more than that. And I'm wondering, is this like one of the times where we just say, okay, let's pull the Globes, because ratings are down. The hosts and presenters ridiculed them. And it's like, well, what are we doing then? If it's not working out for NBC with the ratings, which I'll talk about in a second, if the people getting it and hosting it are saying it's a joke, it's like, well, what is this then?
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing? Why are we wasting our time? And the ratings are at an all-time low. Last year, they were low. 18.3 million tuned in last year. Just 6.9 million tuned in Sunday night. To put things in perspective, in 2008, there was the writer's strike. And for that year, they didn't have a big ceremony. They just had a press conference where they rattled off the winners in like a 30-minute thing. It was a quick one and done. Okay, here are the winners. That's it. Good night, everybody. That had 6 million people tune in. There were 6.9 million that tuned in on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And then as for the coveted 18 to 49 demographic, it dropped 68% from last year. And that number for the demographic was actually lower this year than that 2008 press conference that they did. So you only have to think, well, NBC made a deal back in 2018 for $60 million a year to broadcast the Globes. Are you regretting that decision now, NBC?
Yeah, I would imagine they are. But also going back to the ratings thing is like, again, why do we want to watch watch people over Zoom when literally for a lot of us, Zoom is every day? So it's just never going
Zoom
away.
Right now.
I know, it's just never goes away. If I'm in that demographic, it's like I need a break. And going back to the pageantry, the Hollywood, the glitz and the glamour. If the first person you have that wins an award goes to speak has the same problem I have when I'm making a Zoom call, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
That sucks. It sucks. It's stupid.
Yeah.
So, and then the Golden Globes itself, the legitimacy of them. You want to talk about production. The production was just bad, but the legitimacy of the award means nothing, and everyone knows it. And it's a big joke in Hollywood. And the only reason I think it's done is to help, those corporate Netflix and all those companies say our film won a Golden Globe, and they can market it that way. I think that's the only reason.
Yep. All right. To not end on a negative note, I'll talk about a couple things I did like, some funny moments real quick. I liked the 2 pre-recorded bits, actually. The kids being interviewed. I love how they got everything wrong, but then I actually got kind of emotional when they knew everything about Chadwick Boseman, and that he was the Black Panther and that he's the good guy, and they knew that. Boom. And it just that hurt. But the hardest I laughed in a long time was when in that teledoc thing where they had celebrities like talk, hey, I'm so-and-so. Oh, I'm so, and they like just are, most of them are, kind of, okay, that's dumb. That's funny or whatever. The best though is when he goes, hi doc, I'm Andrew Reynolds. And then the guy's like, okay. It's just like, okay. It was just like the way she said it was just cool. Good for you. And that's how I feel a lot of times.
Yeah.
But yeah. I don't know. I'll mention real quick some nitpicks. I feel like SNL, that whole group doesn't really care about COVID, huh? Because first, a week or two ago, we have John and Pete kissing on the stage. Here we got Keenan and Amy just kissing. Keenan, who was on SNL on New York City Saturday night, somehow made it to the Globe Sunday night and starts making out with Amy Poehler on the stage. I don't know how.
Well, wasn't she in New York?
She was in LA. Tina Fey was in New York.
Oh, well, who thought that
long
was a good
car
idea?
ride.
It's a long car ride, yeah. And then the other thing is, I feel like Michael Douglas doesn't do anything anymore in the industry. I feel like he's just, it's Michael Douglas. And he's only ever presenting final awards at awards shows. That's his thing now. He doesn't do anything day to day. It's just, the Emmys are coming up. I'm doing best drama series or whatever. It's just, comes in for that last award. Any other things about the Golden Globes that stood out to you? Nitpicks, funny moments, anything?
No, get it out of here.
No. I mean, I think I mentioned everything that I was angry about, but some of the bits were okay, and some of the jokes were good. Tina and Amy do a good job. So,
All right.
if they want to keep hosting, I'm down with that.
Sounds good. We'll see if they're back, and if it's even televised next year when ratings are 2 million. We'll see. All right, we got a streaming film to talk about. It did win a Golden Globe for Rosamund Pike. In order to talk about it, we have to go back. So, guys, send us back.
We're back, baby.
Gotta get back in time.
All right. This dark comedy thriller stars Rosamund Pike as a court-appointed guardian who seizes the assets of elderly people for her own good. Well, then she end up mixing up with, spoiler alert, a dangerous gangster played by Peter Dinklage who threatens to make this all crash down on her. All right. I have a lot of different thoughts on this. I'm all over the place on this one. But I want to start off with John. What do you think of I Care a Lot?
Oh, man, I don't know what was happening. Like, what was the movie trying to be? The whole first third of the movie was just showing that she's a bad person? Like, the whole first third of the movie? At one point, she disguised herself as herself, which didn't do anything for me.
I noticed that too. Like, put on a different wig, a different hair color, different length.
Yeah, she disguised herself as herself. Also, along with that scene, she becomes like a master at like close quarter combat almost. She's tasing people and knocking people out. And the other thing I didn't get is I think like there were 3 attempted murders or something, and none of them worked. Like, does nobody follow up with the murder? Like,
they got the doctor. They got the one.
Oh, they got
doctor.
the doctor.
They made it look like suicide.
1 in 4. Great.
Not great odds.
That didn't do anything for me. I will say the music was excellent. I really enjoyed the music. I think that was the highlight for me. But yeah, the rest of it was not great.
So Rosamund Pike, it starts off. The narration starts, and I'm instantly thinking of Gone Girl. I'm like, okay, we got Gone Girl here. The music kind of sounds like that Fincher, Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross kind of vibe. But immediately, I hate her. I mean, she's taking advantage of old people. Of course, I'm going to hate her. It's like, and then I'm trying to tell myself, well, is this on me? Because, I mean, I like The Wolf of Wall Street. I love that movie. And so is this kind of like a, man versus woman thing? Like, I couldn't nail it down. Is it the timing of this? Because it's like, it's, the framing Britney Spears, the conservatorship stuff. I mean, this is pretty much that. What's not working here? And then, okay, the taxi guy comes up and it's like, oh, there's something stopping her. There's a mystery now. They're going to take her down. We're not going to see her win anymore. Mm-hmm. And then we pretty much see her win, like for the rest of the movie. It's like we're supposed to root for her to get out of that car crash. And it's I'm like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Kyle, what did you think of the film?
I wanted her to die the entire time. That's pretty much me, how I felt about it. She's not a likable person, and not that you need a likable character and everything that you do, but you certainly wanted this woman to die. So every time she's not dying, what are you saying about your film? That evil people win, because that's pretty much what she was saying in her monologue. So I don't know, but I'm with John. I mean, this thing in the second half to me just like flow. It just it got outlandish. It was just the stuff that was happening. I'm like, now she's taking down Russian hitman, and but then in the beginning with the taxi dude, I know it's supposed to be comedic, but I just feel like the tones were all mismatched. Okay. Yeah. I understand dark comedy. I can be down with dark comedy. Okay. But then how are you going to have like these serious romantic, like loving scenes between this couple when you've got buffoons all around? It was just
the second half of the movie is just bonkers. It's just
it just goes into La La Land. It just goes wild.
Yeah. So we get Dinklage comes in and his cronies. Okay, they're a bit over the top. Okay, he's throwing his smoothie at just the sight of her picture. Don't understand why. He doesn't really know her. I'm like, okay, I can maybe get involved with this. It's a little goofy, but I'm okay. But then she gets kidnapped, drugged, launched into a lake. Somehow Superwoman wakes up just in the nick of time, gets out.
From out to like pro swimmer getting out of a submerged car in like that. It was crazy.
And they easily killed the doctor. They made that one look like suicide. They were so good at this. But this one, they're like, make it look natural, make it look organic. And it's like, why?
Well, yeah.
You could even just show her for who she is and just make her go to jail. Like, there's dirt on her. You could just show that she's a bad person. You don't need to like frame her, kill her. It's like, but anyways, they managed to get Dinklage. And at the end of this, there was like 6 storylines in the last 10 minutes. I mean, they make him the incapacitated John Doe, and it's like, well, guess what? When that happens, I become your guardian. It's like, okay, that's an ending. But then, nope, we're not done yet. They're gonna partner up. They're gonna be partners now. We done? Nope, we're not done yet.
But
we're not done yet.
wait. Before that, mind you, he has tried to kill you.
Yeah. You tried to kill him.
He has successfully killed somebody that is helping you in your racketeering, fraud business. And you're like,
Tried
But
to kill your
then,
girlfriend.
Yeah.
yeah, tried to kill your girlfriend and then just act like, and to me, this whole thing would be like, if Rosamund Pike, she wanted the cash, right? So I get that at the end. But this is like the equivalent of like pointing the gun at like the cashier and being like, I need you to sell me those cigarettes right now. Sell them to me. It's like, what? You mean give them to you? No. Sell them to me. It's just like, just kill him. He's right with the what are you doing?
Yeah, and then nope, that's not the end. And then the guy from the beginning shoots her. Okay, now we're at the end. And I just feel like if they got rid of even if they got rid of the mafia stuff and it was just Jennifer Peterson here, like being the hero and somehow outsmarting her, that's a movie. I could watch that. And there was this weird exchange that Rosamund Pike's character has with Jennifer Peterson. And at one point, this is paraphrasing it, but she says to her, you don't play by the rules. I own you. I will drain you of your money and self-respect. Not because I want to or because I enjoy it. It's because your people didn't play by the rules. You want to beat me fair and square in a courtroom. Yeah. You don't bring guns in a care home and murder one of my friends. It's like, what are you talking about? How is any of this fair? You like framed her with your doctor friend. You didn't play by the rules there. But yeah, get me in a courtroom. It's like, well, how can I get you in a courtroom? You took all my stuff away. This is like if Michael Jordan went up to it like a kid and it was like, hey kid, wrap your arm around your back. And if you want to beat me in one-on-one basketball, you must follow the rules. It's like, how is this fair? This is not fair.
Yeah, I remember hearing that monologue and I actually wrote it down because it was just so absurd to me. You got to play fair. And by fair, I mean in the courts because we don't do gun stuff here. It's just like,
and then meanwhile, she's tasing people. And
I know. I know. It is. Oh my God.
I just don't understand how nobody like sees through any of this in the film, like the judge, and she has her wall of victims on the board. And I know it's like, oh, these are all the people I take care of, but it just looks sketchy as hell as all the people lined up in their headshots. And she opens up this huge company at the end for her services. She's on TV. She's on the cover of Forbes. And it's like, wouldn't anyone be like, this kind-hearted person is living like the top 1% over here. Maybe she's not as good as she says she is. It's just like, nope, nobody buys that. Like, it's just, oh, she must has a heart of gold and just takes as much money from them and for her services. It's just.
Yeah, that's another thing I wrote down too. It's like, there is no way that a guardian could take over somebody's materials. I don't know how this would be possible and then sell them off within a matter. I mean, they were practically right after packing up the house. It's like, this is
quick.
The optics on this. What is this? Isn't, I don't know how a judge or somebody else is not like, dude, what's up with that?
Yeah. It's like within a week you're repainting it and it's just like, I don't know. It's funny though, because like I picked this film because we were going to do Cherry this week, and I read the reviews, and it was just like, ugh, why do that? This has got better reviews, Golden Globe nominated, more people are talking about it. But while there was points where I was enjoying like that middle, the first half, I was like, okay, because I was looking forward to her failing. I'm looking forward for her to get her got and for it to be over. But man, that second half kind of really ruined the feelings I had of the first half.
Yeah.
It just spiraled for me. And
I feel the exact same way. That sums up everything, because it goes into outlandish, just it's crazy stuff.
Yep.
But it is entertaining. I'll give it that.
So will you say watch it?
I guess if you need a movie to watch, yeah, sure.
All right, John.
But I don't know.
I think there are a few better choices you can choose. Maybe if you're avoiding spending the $5 to go to your Paramount Plus and you want to watch this,
there you go. Tie it all back together.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, it's okay. I don't know. It kind of, all the good feelings I had went away by the end. But all right, one real quick thing we're going to talk about at the end of this podcast here. It's March. March Madness has begun. It's bracket season, baby. Last year, we did television. We did our favorite TV character currently on TV. But this year, we're doing film. More specifically, your favorite film franchise. 32 film franchises are going to battle it out. We have a blog post at dualredundancy.com. It explains what's a franchise, like what was our definition of a franchise. Some franchises seemingly cover multiple films, but it's actually about, different studios own them. And we get into all the specifics on the blog and how things were seeded, everything like that. But for what you need to know is voting has opened for round 1. Every Monday, a new round will start. Yesterday, we started up. We're up to over 80 responses so far in this first day.
Wow.
We got some help from the movie Reddit. We got our social media going for it. The round will close on Sunday, and then the next round will start on that Monday. And you can find the links, of course, on the blog, dualredundancy.com, and on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dual Redundancy. We'll post the links in the bracket there. You can fill it out. I know Mark from the Good, Bad, and Watchable kind of picked his picks of the bracket. So it's up there. We got 32 films. We'll wind them down throughout March until only one survives. And then we'll have a special show at the end of the month, breaking it all down. But all right. Next week, though, we have a new catch-up series. We have The Golden Globe nominated The Great on Hulu. We're going to talk about the first 3 episodes of that. And then maybe some awards talk as well. A lot of awards. The Critics' Choice Awards are going to be out. The PGA, DGA, and the BAFTA nominations will be out. So maybe we'll get a better sense of the Oscars. Plus some quick checks, including that WandaVision finale. So a lot to do next week as well. Make sure you never miss an episode by going to YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, the blog, dualredundancy.com, and of course, Twitch. We're live Tuesday nights on Twitch, twitch.tv/dualredundancy. And again, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Dual Redundancy. I want to thank both you guys for joining me tonight, for suffering through the Golden Globes and I Care a Lot. I couldn't do it without you guys, and for John for directing the show. Thanks, guys.
Sure.
All right. Until next time, I'm David Allen.
John Berwick.
And I'm Kyle Bridger.
And that's all we got for Dual Redundancy. Goodbye, everybody.